Hello everyone and welcome back to the New York Empoleon's Week 5 Team Builder and Battle of the SDA. We are here this week taking on Bishmi, coach of the Trash Town Thievuls, and if you have not seen them before, go check them out, links in the description below. And otherwise, we are going to be trying to get ourselves back above 500. We started off the season 0-2. We are now 2-2. For those who were here only in the live stream last time but missed the video, we ended up credited with a 2-0 victory after almost getting kicked out of the league, which was kind of amazing. Don't worry about that. It's a whole story. I'm not going to go into it. But my opponent's team is Astelgor, Dugtrio, Zarude, Emolga, Victini, Articuno G, Kangaskhan, Tapu Fini, Scizor, Ice-Q, and Dragalge. And the first thing that I immediately noticed about this team was the 5 ice weaknesses and 5 rock weaknesses. Most of those overlap. Things like Victini and Articuno and Emolga all have both an ice and a rock weakness, so there's a lot of overlap in those. But those were the first things that I was immediately like, okay, how do I take advantage of so many ice and rock weaknesses? Naturally, it's to say there is one ice move on this entire roster, and it's not where you think it is. And 0 rock moves. So, we ended up going with a very different direction than I would have initially expected. But the first Mon is my Maractus, and this entire team is based around a 2.5 or 3 Mon defensive core, and we'll talk about those Mons first, and then we'll talk about the ways to actually win the game in the second half of this team builder. So the first Mon here is Maractus. It is fully specially defensive, max HP, max special defense, fully specially defensive. It is Water Absorb, not Storm Drain, because there's no special attack, so didn't need Storm Drain, and Water Absorb at least raises my HP, which is another stat that I need, and it raises it by 25%, which is pretty good. And so, what is Maractus doing against a team with Astelgor, Zarude, Scizor, Victini, Galarian Articuno, Dragalge, Ice-Q, Emolga, and very little stuff that it actually handles? It handles one thing and one thing only. Tapu Fini. And that alone is good enough for me. It switches it on the Fini. If it's not Specs Fini, it's guaranteed to 3-hit KO with Moonblast, even as max special attack and modest. It cannot get a 2 KO with the Moonblast. I don't care about the special attack drop. If it goes for a Surf at any point, well, I get 25% of my health back. Now, once the Fini is in, I can do one of two things. Once my Maractus is in against the Fini, I can either set up a layer of spikes, or I can click Leech Seed. And that's really it. If I think they're going to stay in, maybe I set up a Leech Seed first. If I think they are going to switch out, maybe I set up a layer of spikes. Either way, it's going to bait in one of 3 Mons, Zarude, Victini, or Scizor. All of which obliterate this. They just destroy it. It's just dead. If they touch it, they breathe on it funny, it dies. So, not a great start for Maractus, but it does wall the Fini forever. It switches in freely on the Fini and sets up spikes freely on the Fini, and their removal is present, but not incredible, and they would have to run it on Fini or Scizor, or bring Emolga. And I don't actually think they're bringing Emolga. So, in light of that, I am bringing Mandibuzz, which is fully physically defensive. Max Phys Def Mandibuzz with a Rocky Helmet to punish Victini, Zarude, and Scizor. It walls all of them and beats all of them. Knockoff, super effective on the Victini, and gets rid of items on the Scizor and Zarude early. Heat Wave can just kill Scizor and chunk Zarude, even if it's a bulk upset and tries to be cheeky. And U-Turn gets me out of there, or does super effective damage against the Zarude, while being neutral on the Victini, excuse me. Now, if I'm in with my Mandibuzz, and they're like, okay, my best Mon to go against Mandibuzz is Fini. So then they go back into their Fini, I go back into my Maractus, set up an extra layer of spikes, they go back into one of those 3 Mons, I go back into Mandibuzz, and then I can roost and freely set up forever. So, I get all my layers of spikes up, then I can click Leech Seed forever on all those Mons, and then Mandibuzz basically has leftovers, and it's the greatest thing ever. And these 2 Mons together make a just absolutely annoying wall. So, the only thing that can beat that is Fini choosing Maractus as a Mon to set up against, which is horrifying. Setup Fini is scary. So, max specially defensive Blastoise with Haze comes in against the Fini that is trying to set up against Maractus and use it as setup fodder after I've gotten a couple layers of spikes up, knocked off the leftovers, perhaps even gotten a Leech Seed off. If it's at +3 from Calm Minds and +2 from an Iron Defense, I can still live a stored power from Tapu Fini with this Blastoise. Guaranteed, and it's very, very high percentage chance after rocks. This is my spinner this week as well, which can get rid of potentially spikes from the Acelgor, stealth rocks from the Dugtrio, something like that. I do have poison types, so T-Spikes, so this is not the removal for T-Spikes. It's not boots, it's leftovers. But we are going to be rocking out with the Seismic Toss as well, because if Fini is like, well, I'll just use your Blastoise, you know, you hazed once, but I'll just set up and then continue to do it, well, I can just Seismic Toss and slowly wear that thing down as well. So this is really there to answer the Fini, and the Victini also struggles to break it without Bolt Strike, and Bolt Strike gets walled by Garchomp. And so Garchomp is going to be able to switch in on the Victini most of the time. It has Rough Skin for extra chip damage here, and then it's just offensive. This is where the team really switches over from its defensive core to its offensive core. Garchomp has Swords Dance and can just go nuts with it. It's going to be able to hit basically everything, at least neutrally or super effectively. Earthquake is super solid here, and for those things that don't mind taking an Earthquake as much, they really don't want to take a Poison Jab. So Fini and Zarude both don't appreciate Poison Jab. Articuno and Emolga both don't appreciate any neutral hit from a +2 Garchomp. But Scale Shot is really important here because Dugtrio could be Focus Sash, and Ice Cube is annoying. Ice Cube is actually really annoying for this matchup. So having the multi-hit move here with the Scale Shot gets me through the Ice Cube potentially, especially if I'm at +2. It will really struggle to beat me 1v1. Plus, if it wants to kill me, I have a Yache Berry. So if it's not Icicle Spear specifically, I will be able to live any hit. Like Icicle Crash is never killing. So we're going to be able to hopefully use this Garchomp to great effect in the later game, or pivoting into it on the Victini if the situation arises for it. Next up is my only Mon that I said with an Ice move, and if you predicted it was going to be Icy Wind Gengar, then you were wrong. No, you were right, but also, how did you guess that? So Icy Wind Gengar does one thing and one thing really well. One, it's Shuka Berry, so that it can't die to an Earthquake from Dugtrio. So here's the situation, right? They go into their Dugtrio. Now, Gengar can't be trapped because it's a ghost type, but also I can just click Icy Wind, and on the Dugtrio's Earthquake, I live. Now I outspeed. The question is, do you go for a Sucker Punch? And now I have Will-O-Wisp, so that if you go for the Sucker Punch, I just get you freely Willowed. And if you go for the Earthquake, well, I outspeed anyway, and I still get you Willowed, and then you can't Revenge Kill anything else. So Gengar can 1v1 that. Also, Shadow Ball is incredibly spammable this week. Really helpful coverage for the Articuno, which I otherwise really was lacking in any sort of coverage for. And is going to be able to take on things like Victini if it's not Scarfed. And, you know, force bullet punches from Scizor, but can Wisp the Scizor if it's trying to come in on a Sludge Wave aimed at something like Zarude, which Will-O-Wisp also does a really good job of. So this is really offensive Gengar. It's actually max special attack and as speedy as it needs to be to outspeed Zarude. Which has the added benefit of outspeeding Adamant Dugtrio as well, just in case they do decide to go with that set. Adamant, not Scarf, obviously, because I'm not Scarf. I'm Shuka Berry, but I will live an Adamant Scarf Earthquake from Dugtrio. So, and we can switch out if we really need to, because it doesn't really matter. And the last Mon that looks like it should be defensive, but isn't, is a max special attack modest Slowking, and this thing is Shed Shell, so the Dugtrio can't trap it. It has Trick Room, and max special attack modest goes pretty hard here if the situation requires it. Late in the game, this can definitely clean up my opponent's team as needed. Flamethrower obviously there for the Scizor, but otherwise Sludge Wave hits the Fini hard, hits the Victini hard, hits the Zarude hard. Psyshock is helpful for Dragalge, which has more special defense, and Fini as well can get hit really hard by a Psyshock. So this is max special attack, but not like a boosting item. It's not like Life Orb or anything. It's still Regenerator, so we are going to be rocking out with the ability to pivot it in and out is needed, but it's really a late game Mon that can come in, click Trick Room, Dugtrio can't trap, and we can go from there. Trick Room has saved my life already once this season, so we'll see what happens here with this week, but hopefully this is going to go well. My defensive core is not necessarily the Mons you would expect it to be. Slowking is almost there as like a, you should expect this to be defensive, and then to surprise them with an offensive set. This thing can Oko a Zarude. It can just straight up Oko a Zarude with Sludge Wave, and it honestly, like, if there's any chip on the Zarude, it's not even, like, close to a roll. If there's no chip and they have some bulk, it can be a roll, and they can potentially live it, but, like, max special attack modest Slowking, base 110 special attack, that's no joke. This thing goes hard. So, after noticing they had 5 rock weaknesses, 5 ice weaknesses, 4 fire weaknesses, and 3 fighting weaknesses, I have 2 fire moves and 1 ice move on this roster. We'll see how this goes. A lot of my plan is just to chip them down and eventually pick up the win sort of as the pieces fall. That's why land's going to be incredibly helpful here, because otherwise we might be in a lot of trouble. Anyway, I will see you all back here in a minute with that battle. So let's see what happens. I know this was a bit of a longer team builder, but I really was excited about this team. I was happy with the way that it came out, and I want to see how it does in this battle. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to get started with the battle now. It's time to fight. And we see Galarian Articuno. No Dugtrio. No Dugtrio. Ooh. My team was real Dugtrio week, so I'm really surprised. I guess I did have like 2 modes. I had like real Dugtrio week and real not Dugtrio week. And I went with the not Dugtrio week, but that's okay. So we see a Galarian Articuno, which is interesting. And a Selgor, which is also interesting. Kind of gives me a cue that they're probably going to be trying to hazards there. No Scizor. No Ice Cube. Which is really interesting. Okay, so they do a Finny. So my plan still works with the Maractus beating the Finny. Their leads here are a Selgor and Victini and Finny. It really only leads to U-turn. Just like straight up, that's all it's going to do. The problem is Victini, Selgor, and Finny are not all walled by the same Mon. Blastoise does a pretty good job, though, early in the match of dissuading them. So I'm just going to lead Blastoise. It doesn't really give me a ton of momentum, but it will stop a Final Gambit from killing me. I will live any Final Gambit from a Selgor, even if it's max HP. No, I won't. Actually, if it's max HP, it kills me. That's funny. Well, I mean, Blastoise is sort of a... It's helpful to have. I don't know. Do I go Mandibuzz? I don't really want to take that kind of damage. I can't believe a Selgor has more base HP than Blastoise, but... yeah, the only mon with more base HP here that... Well, I mean, I could just go into Slowking, right? Slowking's living a Final Gambit, so... Yeah, I probably should do that. You don't have the Dugtrio, so... We'll just go Slowking. Saw the Selgor lead coming. If it spikes, it spikes. It's fine. Just straight Toxic? Okay. Well, I went Slowking on that, so it doesn't get anything up. I guess I just Sludge Wave here. You didn't bring a Resist to it, so... Seems free. I mean, you got Dragalge, I guess. Spikes. Okay. That's fine. Now that I'm Sludge Waving here, I can go for a Psyshock this turn. Got the crit. It's a Sash. Not super surprising that it's sashed. I'm going to Psyshock for the... Or I can just set up a Trick Room here. Now I'm just going to Psyshock for the switch into Dragalge. I don't know if you preserve this, but... just a U-turn. Okay, with the crit, you actually don't know that I'm like max special attack either, so... 1 layer of spikes. I can handle that. No Toxic on the Blastoise. That's nice. I still have the Rapid Spin later. Dragalge comes in. Okay. Max special attack, Psyshock. Bye-bye. Another crit? Slowking. Jesus, calm down. Alright, Slowking has no chill right now. My opponent's probably pissed, but it was not a roll, I don't think. Neither of what the... I don't think either of the crits mattered. It was a roll. If it's max HP. It was a roll, though. I had a chance. If it's just max HP. If it's defensive invested, then it definitely mattered. But if it's just max HP, then Psyshock was just guaranteed to kill. Or a roll to kill. Slowking has no chill, though. My opponent's like, what do I do now? Sludge Wave 2 at KOs an Articuno here. I can just switch as well into the Blastoise and then Rapid Spin here. Because Blastoise should take any hits from the Articuno. Yeah, we're going to go Blastoise here. Get the Regenerator back. Take a little bit of Spikes chip, but I have leftovers too. I'm max specially defensive, so should live any hit. Don't get frozen though, because I'm running Surf over Scald. Agility. Okay. I'm just gonna Rapid Spin though first, before anything else. I have Haze, so I can always get rid of the boost if I need to. I don't know what else you're gonna go for. Ancient Power. Does like nothing. Rapid Spin comes out. Get rid of the spikes. I think you're gonna switch at this point into Zarude. I don't have Flip Turn though. And I have answered. I can switch into Zarude, so I can just go for a Surf here. Does Surf or Seismic Toss do actually more to this? Seismic Toss does more, so let's go Seismic Toss. Surf has a lower min roll and a higher max roll. You stayed in. Okay. Just good damage. Just free damage. I'm going to Haze here. I just think this next Ancient Power is going to get the boost. If we're being honest. I just have this feeling. I'll show you Haze. You'll get the boost, you'll be stoked, and then I'm going to Haze it immediately. I have this feeling. Oh, I didn't get the boost. But now you're not fast anymore. So if you want to set that up again, you can. What is your ability? It's competitive, so I don't want to lower your stats. Not that Surf has a chance to do that. I think I just Seismic Toss again, but I could just Surf here. No, I'll just Seismic Toss again. You're probably just going to Ancient Power here. Switches out. Okay. So Zarude comes in. Finny comes in. Alright. You saw Haze, and then you went Finny. Which makes me feel like you're not set up Finny. But hey, we get 25% and get a chance to see whether you're leftovers. And you are. And you are. Maractus, get out here. Set up a layer of spikes for me. Selgor's dead on that. I have to make sure that I'm paying attention to my time, though, because this battle might go really long, and I just need to make sure that my time is good. Ooh! The double into Zarude. You baited my Maractus, but what does your Zarude get for this? Like, I can Spiky Shield if I want to. I don't think I want to, because it just shows you one of my moves, which I don't need to do. But I can just go into Mandibuzz here, and if you U-turn, you're just getting punished for it, so... I guess I could have Spiky Shielded because you're super baited into U-turning right now anyway, and then just, like, get Spiky Shield, scout out for leftovers, get Rocky Helmet after, but at the same time, I'd rather you think I don't have it, because it might be useful later as a surprise on, like, Victini. There's the U-turn. So, yeah, Rocky Helmet, not Protective Pads. Would be shocked if I had seen Protective Pads Zarude right here, not gonna lie. So Finny comes in, I go back to Maractus. We have a song and dance, y'all. Articuno came. Articuno? How much is Ancient Power doing to me? Doing like 30%. So do I just knock off here? I'm just gonna knock off here. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to take a hit, but I can roost that off later, so. Yeah. Weakness policy. Okay. So I'm out. But the question is, what do I go into here? I could go Garchomp. I think you're clicking Agility here, though. Because that's your best play. I'm going to keep Mandibuzz. So I'm going to go Blastoise here. If you click straight Ancient Power or Hurricane or something, that's a little scary, but you don't outspeed the Gengar, so... Air Slash. How much is this doing at +2? Chunks me. Alright. So I'm just going to stay in. I'm just going to stack this. If you agility, I want to kill you. So we're just going to go straight for a seismic toss here. Does the most to Finny. And if you do go for an agility, you die. Which so you won't. So you have to go for like an ancient power here. And then I can just go out into Gengar, click Shadow Ball. I still have the Mandibuzz healthy enough to come in on the Zarude as needed. Or I can click Sludge Wave with the Gengar. Probably safer. It'll kill from here, and it hits the Zarude as well. And it's Bluff Scarf. So that's also good. Ancient Power comes out. So the speed boost would be really bad. If you actually get the boost here. Okay, looks fine. Articuno G kills Blastoise with Ancient Power. So Gengar comes in. You don't have the agility up, just the weakness policy, so I can just go for a Sludge Wave here. Bluff a choice item. Not risky going to root on the Shadow Ball. You don't have Scizor, so there's no risk in this play. Finny can't come in on it, even as a specially defensive option. Zarude can't come in on it, because it can't take 2. We don't know if it Scarf Zarude, so I definitely have to watch out for that too, but... This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. Alright, so Gengar kills Zarude with Sludge Wave. There was no reason to click Shadow Ball there because Articuno was dying anyway. Victini comes out. This indicates potentially you're Scarfed. With Blastoise down, though, Victini actually is a problem. But I guess I can scout if you're Scarfed here with the Gengar. Garchomp still outspeeds the Articuno. So I'm just going to Shadow Ball here. If you're not Scarfed, this is doing a huge amount of damage. And you're not. Yeah. Flame Charge. Okay. But if you're fully physical, then I can just go into Mandibuzz here. The rest of your team is special, so I'm just going to go Mandibuzz and hope you just hit me with a physical attack. I'll live even a V-Create from here. Bolt Strike, V-Create, you die. If you go for a special attack here, then that's not ideal. But then Headbutt comes out, doesn't do anything. Just going to Roost. Get my HP back. If you do V-Create, that's fine. The rest of your mons are special, so Mandibuzz is not as important. There's the V-Create, which, depending on your investment, I live. Okay. So you die, I die. Let me just double check. Yeah, Victini dies. Alright, so everything else is special anyway. I think a Selgor probably comes back in here. But I think I just go Slowking and click Trick Room here. Because a Selgor comes in, Slowking doesn't care, and clicks Trick Room. Articuno's dead, Selgor's dead, and Finny dies to 2. So this should do it. This Trick Room should do it. We got rid of all the physical attackers. Knockoff. Okay. Shed Shell's gone. That was that for Doug Trio, which isn't here. Trick Room comes out. Sludge Wave 3 times. Hopefully that's enough. So, Slowking G kills a Selgor with Sludge Wave. I don't know if Finny's in range officially, but I don't think Finny can OHKO me. Oh, it is. It's in range. Max HP. Oh, no, that's fully offensive. Hold on. Max HP is a roll, but that's fine. Articuno comes in. Sludge Wave. I had a couple good reads there, but they were very easy free reads because I still killed them on with the move that I clicked. It just happened to cover the switch in as well. Which is why sometimes, you know, sacking them on off and not preserving it is the better play. Kills Articuno G with Sludge Wave. Misty Surge, that's fine. Sludge Wave should... It's a chance to KO if it's especially defensive. It's a 2 KO guaranteed. So... I don't think this thing gets Amnesia. Lives that. What are you going to go for here? Calm Mind? That's not going to save you here. That's not going to save you here. Still have another turn of Trick Room. Which I think I even have 2 turns of Trick Room, but we'll just Sludge Wave again. I knew you were leftovers, so I was going to say, I guess Kibia Berry, Calm Mind with, like... I don't even know what you could do at that point, but... So Trick Room Galarian Slowking has 2 weeks in a row just come in and done its job. And this was max special attack Slowking. Again, the crits helped, certainly. The first one didn't matter. That Sludge Wave was bringing a Cellgore down to Sash. And then it didn't even matter if it brought it down to Sash or not. I was going to kill it 2 KO no matter what. The second one was potentially a roll, potentially mattered on the Dragalge. If I don't kill the Dragalge right there, it's really frightening, actually. Definitely a huge threat to what I brought. Like, probably have to go into Blastoise, Tankus, Draco. Nothing wants to take it very well. So, Dragalge definitely had a chance to be incredibly scary, even after the Psyshock damage, if I didn't kill. But it was a roll if it was just max HP and then no special defense. So, that crit helped, certainly. But after that, I feel like it was just smart play. I made the read into the Psyshock into the potential Dragalge. I made the read of the Sludge Wave into the potential Zarude. My opponent just happened to run into both of those, which is really unfortunate. I think sacking the Cellgore was probably a good play there, and the Articuno might have been the better play, keeping Zarude healthy. But if Zarude wasn't Scarfed, then Gengar was going to be able to kill it at any time. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all back here next week. We are finally back above 300. 300? What? 500. 3-2. So hopefully we can keep this momentum going. We are on a 3-game winning streak now. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everybody.